Good morning. We welcome you to our eCertificate webinar. It is about how to fill eCertificates and the progress of this project. We will talk a little later about the way forward and let you know about that. Now I welcome you all here to this webinar. You see a few people who are behind this project. You will see Barbara Krinsky from MySign, who is on the supplier part of this project available for us. And they also built the platform together with the ISTA Secretariat and a few selected laboratories. We have Stella here, and we should have Beata here, who will be able to help you and assist you in future, also with setting up your accounts and answering maybe some questions. We have Florina here. Thank you very much. Florina was at the project from the beginning. She now stepped a little bit back, but she is watching that project from the accreditation and technical department point of view, because certificates are a very important part of our system and also of the accreditation system. First of all, I would like to thank you all to be here. This webinar actually is designed for ISTA Laboratories who are accredited and looking into using the eCertificates, or for laboratories which are looking for accreditation and may be interested in seeing how that works. We are doing this in a stepwise approach. We will first let you see how to fill and use certificates in a way that it is a manual filling, or via a solution of filling multiple certificates using an Excel file, which is available on the system. At a future stage, we will go a little bit deeper in automation, but you should first, as a laboratory, get a feeling on how the system is working in general. You will see a little later a video and also a tutorial. That's a tutorial video, and I give a short presentation, and then you will have the possibility to ask some questions, which we will also put into a FAQ box on the ISTA website for everybody. There is one point which I would like to mention. It is not mandatory to use the eCertificates from ISTA perspective. The paper system will still be available for everybody, and you can still use the paper certificates. These two systems will run more or less in parallel for quite a while. There is no decision on stopping the paper certificates. The only point is here, with the eCertificates, you are issuing an original, and in addition, you may issue duplicates in a paper form, but if you have the paper as an original, you will not be able to issue a eCertificate as original, because then there would be two original certificates. Those are the points which I would like to mention up front. As I said, we are not forcing you to use the eCertificate system. It may be that some authorities like to get the eCertificates more than the paper certificates, but that is something the future will show to us. Now I would like to show you a little video on how to fill the eCertificates.
As an ISTA accredited laboratory, you conform to internationally agreed ISTA rules for seed sampling and testing. In compliance with these rules, your laboratory may issue ISTA certificates, which will be available soon as electronic certificates. This tutorial demonstrates how you, as an ISTA accredited laboratory, can generate, fill in, and share an ISTA eCertificate. Log into your laboratory's account. Navigate to ISTA eCertificates. You can now see an overview of all your orange and blue eCertificates. Check their status or view them in detail. In the top row, you can choose from a variety of filtering options. To generate a single new eCertificate, click on Create New eCertificate. Click on Edit and fill in all required information. Note that some boxes specify whether you can input text, numbers, or both. You can save the eCertificate in form of a provisional certificate and add data later to make it an original certificate. The eCertificate number will not change. When done, save your edits. To generate multiple new eCertificates, click Create Multiple New eCertificates. You can now access our Excel template and upload your Excel sheet containing the data for the new certificates. To sign an eCertificate, navigate to the certificate you wish to sign in the Overview page and click on Detail View. Check the form and then click the Sign button. You are now prompted to enter your personal laboratory member code. Your signature is now displayed at the end of the certificate. After signature, the eCertificate is sent by email to the email address you provided when opening your account with ISTA. To share several eCertificates, select Multiple Certificates on the Overview page and click Share Selected eCertificates. Or click on the Share button in Detail View to share a single eCertificate. All the necessary information is automatically copied to your clipboard. These details and a PDF copy are also sent to you by email. Do you need further help to generate an eCertificate? Please contact audit@ista.ch.
Thank you very much. I see that we received a message that one person cannot hear and has no sound. Maybe we can let you also know that this tutorial video is also available on the ISTA YouTube channel. You can view it as often as you like. It is available there for you and can be seen there. I would now like to give you a short presentation on the status and the overview of the eCertificate system. Johanna, could you allow me to get presenter here, please? I think you can see my screen now. It's we go live now in this year, 100 years of ISTA, and the decision by the ECOM was to go live on July 15 this year. That means after discussion at the OGM and also fixing cost. And I cannot tell you a lot about cost in the moment. That is a secondary topic. Maybe for some of you a primary, but in our case here for today it's secondary. Our way is to drive everything and be ready for the go live date 11 days after the OGM. It is a Monday and we did choose that. It's the middle of the month and shortly, as short as possible after the meeting of the ordinary general meeting of the association. The ECOM made this decision to go live in February, in their February meeting, end of February. We were having meetings at that time then with MySign, and we informed the membership about that. And now we are in the green boxes here in the middle. We prepared the tutorial videos for you. We are looking into having the 2 webinars today and answering your frequently asked questions or your questions you have in the moment. We will allow all members to go for a trial period to fill and use and test the system, to use it manually or to use it via filling with the Excel solution. And then end of May, we will stop this trial period and migrate all the trial laboratories over to a complete new system. It's not new, but the final system, not the trial system, where you can then issue from July 15 eCertificates. The process itself is that you access the ISTA website via 2 gates. Because you go to the website, you have to pass InfoPro, and of course you enter on the MySign area. You can here then in your area acquire, that means buy new certificates. You will see, and you may have seen that a little bit on the tutorial video, you will see immediately how many orange and blue certificates you have left in your stock, and you are able to acquire new certificates here. This can be done either with a credit card or via invoice. The only thing with the invoice needs to be paid, and then the new certificates will be on your clock. You can fill these certificates in the 2 ways we showed you, manually or using the Excel file. You can change them before you sign them, of course, so you can control them and you can sign them. And for this signature, you need to have a signature code, and the signature of the responsible person using this code is then displayed on the eCertificate. Afterwards, it is saved as a PDF and sent to the laboratory directly. For security reasons, we have 2 servers. Both are in Switzerland, but at different locations. So if we have a problem with electricity or whatever is coming up, we have a redundant standby server which will be used instead of the other one. This is a concept which every good store system has as well, that there are 2 redundant systems and both can work independently. Now we have another way of filling the eCertificates as well, which is via an API solution. That's what you see below the green boxes, manually and Excel file, which is working properly. This one is also working properly. It was tested by a few labs, but here we see that a trial period is always mandatory, because and we will show that at a little later time when you got a little bit more acquainted with the system itself, because here some investment is needed by the laboratory. We will supply you at cost an API dogging solution, and you as a laboratory to fill and sign automatically any number of certificates which you have in your stock is needed, but we will go into this detail because it's a little bit more complicated a little later. If you want to participate in the trial period, there are the requirements on the left-hand side. What we require from you is a laboratory stamp, should be transparent, PNG format, a signature file of the person who should sign the signatures, the certificates later, as a PNG format, also transparent, and the email address is the email address where the PDFs are sent after they are signed properly. What are the advantages of eCertificates? These eCertificates are mailed after the signature directly to the data owner by you as a laboratory, or they are supplied via your laboratory client portal to the data owner. That means there are no delays. As soon as the email is there at your site, you could forward it to the data owner, or you could forward the certificate to the data owner via your client portal. And there are no shipment costs because you don't have to print out, put it into an envelope, and ship it to the client. These e-certificates include access data, where everybody who wants to verify the data can access the ISTA website, can put in the certificate number and a unique identifier code, which is on the PDF form, but that can only be done via the ISTA website, which makes it safe, and they can verify these data. So it's very easy to stop any fraudulent use of ISTA certificates. Please note that the originals keep the same access credentials if they were used before, issued before as provisional e-certificates. That means a provisional number is not changing and the credentials are not changing if this provisional or when this provisional becomes an original. On this side, you have a read-only area, and you're always up to date because if you provide the provisional certificate to your client before and it became an original, they will see with the same credentials automatically an original certificate on screen. I thank you for that, and I'm looking forward to, or we're all looking forward to your questions. We have one question in the question and answer box. Are there plans pay as you go, so automatically charges monthly for the amount of certificates you've used, or do we need to purchase a specific block of certificates in advance prior to using? In the moment, it is foreseen as the last one that you have to buy a specific block of certificates. But it's a good idea. We thought of that one as well. It's a little bit more complicated, and we may talk if that is a wish from the membership. We may talk with MySign about that possibility. How does sublot certificates go to work? Florina, maybe that is something you could answer, or I could help to answer on that.
You can start, please, and I can continue.
Yeah, on the sublots, you will have to have identifiers for each sublot to issue. And I understand that those are all originals, right, Florina?
Yes, the certificates for the sublots will be originals, could be as well provisional if we know that the results are not finalized, but they must be original at the end of the process. And of course, the laboratory must have a system to identify that the certificate is for sublot. So we have to apply these rules. And I'm expecting as auditor as well to see the procedure, the SOP updated to comply with the new tool.
Okay, we try to log into the MySign Sky portal by accessing the link, but we're unable to do so with the login credentials, lab membership code, and password you provided. I think there was, Barbara Stella, maybe you can answer that.
Yes, I think there was a little misunderstanding concerning which would be the correct link to log in, and Stella and I are responding to those labs that got the wrong link so they can log in properly. So if you cannot log in, maybe it's best advice to refer to Stella or to Beata in the first place, and they can provide you with the correct data. Also, I'm happy to help.
Okay, is there an estimated date for API rollout for all labs, or any approximate documentation on how it might work? We'd be interested in integrating. We will do that probably at the end of May to inform you on the API solution. You can have a rollout anytime then. The labs who were in the testing phase could do that at an earlier stage because they have the login credentials and the way how to do that, and we will bring them over immediately. It's good to see that labs are interested in this API solution, and we will work on that and giving you more information directly then in May with a new webinar. And we are if you want to have the API solution, please come back to audit@ista.ch and let us know. We will collect that, and then we know that you are interested in the rollout. For the moment, we have to sign manually OICs for Algeria. Do you do some promotion of the certificate to the Algerian authorities in order to stop printing and signing it, please? What we will do, we will inform or try to inform everybody on this new system. There will be another tutorial video especially designed for clients of the laboratories and authorities that this new system could work. We had in the forefront contact to a number of authorities, also with the study we started together with Massey University a few years ago on the acceptance of that. If there is a certain country where you would like to contact us, we probably you can let us know, give us the address, and we will send an information over to that authority. That's something I can offer, that we do that as an information. When the API solution works, will we then also get emails, or will there be another solution? No, you will also get the emails. I think you mean emails with the PDF signed certificates. We know that may be a little bit more, or we know the problem with that, and we will bundle only a certain number of certificates in each email, that it is not too much, especially if you want to sign 100 certificates or something like that. You can also, as from the system, download it yourself, of course. How we can access the identity of EOIC when we received. If you received the PDF form, you can go, as a laboratory, of course, you can go into your own system and check it. You can also go the other way, which everybody can use, because on the OIC, you will have on the left-hand side the OIC number and the unique identifier. You will be able to go to the ISTA website, go to verify ISTA certificates. There will be a button when the system is starting, and you put in the OIC number and this unique identifier there, and this very certificate will be displayed for you. So you can identify and access via this link which you have on each also PDF. And this makes it a little bit more, or makes it much more safe, because you have to go to the website and then put in the data. There may be some shortcuts in the future. We are discussing that with OECD in the moment, if they would like to have it displayed automatically, but that's something on the OECD system. How many characters can be entered in these respective fields? Now I have to translate that. Is there a documentation? Is there already a documentation? Okay, that was coming from Germany, because that was partly in German. Maybe Barbara or Florina or Stella, you can answer the number of characters, especially I think in the letter boxes, I think. In the text fields. Barbara, you have an idea about that?
Yes, we have some restrictions, but differ for each field, depending on what type of text or characters or numbers you can enter. But there are limitations in the text fields. But I can provide a documentation. Would be a good idea that documentation is available for each field, which characters are allowed to enter and how many are allowed. Mm-hmm. But it's restricted by the system, and it's also validating what kind of data you're entering. And you get error responses if you are entering data that is not foreseen for that field.
Okay, the printout will still look like the normal certificate you issued. That is probably also something we can mention. So there's space on the front and space on the back, like with the printer, with the paper certificates. We didn't want to change that totally, but we will provide you with a documentation. If you are able to go and test it, you will find out also on the text field, on the big text fields, how much can be entered. Double checking, the ISTA solution is not intended to email customers directly, only the ISTA labs. So we would still email our customers. That is correct, because if there is a mistake in the email address for your customers, which is put in there, we don't want to supply wrong information to wrong customers. And there may also be in some areas a number of emails which you might want to put in there, because sometimes this information, and that's what we know from some laboratories, go not only to one person in the company, but to a number of persons, to your clients, and or is changing from lot to lot, or variety to variety, or whatever. And this would have to be put in, and ISTA itself has no contract with the data owner. ISTA itself has only a contract with the accredited laboratory. So that is a kind of a legal thing in the background as well. Some laboratories also want to have that as putting these information on their client portal, and that means that this should not be shipped anywhere else. So it goes to the laboratory, and they can distribute to the respective data owner themselves, or put it on their client portal. So we can download the PDFs directly, because we have electronic system for all our certificates. You can either download them from the email or you can print them from the system. Yes, print then to file. That should be possible. For login to MySign account, what username we have to use at present. If you apply and send an email to audit@ista.ch, you will get the login credentials. You should provide all the information which we said. That's the lab stamp in a transparent PNG and the signature. And there could be, by the way, more than one signature for the ISTA certificates as a transparent PNG, together with an email address where the things should be sent, the certificate should be sent to. You can't see me. Oh, I'm sorry about that. My camera's on. Maybe I have to go out of presentation mode. Yes. Okay. Well, then in that case, I will sign me off. It's very nice that you want to see me. Very kind. Okay, now it should be working, it says. Now another or will there be a machine-to-machine solution compatible with our database? We don't have a machine-machine solution yet, Barbara, right?
No, not yet, because we can't know in advance which kind of database are used on the other side. There are different types of databases in each IT system for each lab.
Maybe that is something for the future, and it only makes a lot of sense with the API solution anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can we manage duplicates by eCertificates? The eCertificate system is made that you don't need duplicates anymore. As eCertificates, you have one original, which is on the system, and everybody can access that with the access code and print off a copy of that for their filing. So normally with these certificates, you don't need any duplicates anymore. Okay. Now everybody can see me. That's also nice information. As the certificates are the certificates immutable? So once they are produced, they can never be altered. I would not say never, but they cannot be altered anymore. When it is signed as an original, it is signed as an original and it cannot be changed afterwards. It is like with a paper copy. When you sign the paper copy, you cannot change it unless you use an eraser, but that would be a substantial nonconformity, maybe even leading to losing the accreditation. We are not accredited yet. Can we use trial system on the ISTA website? Oh, Florina, that one I give to you. It is coming from Gokam Topaloglu. I think you are in contact with them. Florina?
I was thinking to these aspects as well in the last days, but we never discussed very precise or very deep in this direction. I think we have to discuss a little bit more and to check with the accreditation working group. Looking only for the future, if your objective is to obtain this accreditation and you would like to start from the beginning with the issuance of the electronic certificates, we have to give this opportunity to the candidates. But it's not a final decision on this, but I will take it as a task for me to discuss with the accreditation and accreditation working group.
There's a request, please hold an online workshop for issuing OICs. We didn't think about a workshop yet, but we would advise you to try out, and if you have problems in using the system, and we see that the problems cannot be solved by answering frequently asked questions or your questions, then we probably may have to have another workshop on doing that. But we would advise you to first try out. It is not that complicated. And that's why we opened the trial period for you to try out. Thank you. At present, we are facing problem for login to MySign account. Can we get solution fix the problem? I think we answered that question before. That will come. Please notify us, and if you did not notify us yet, do so, and we will get you the revised documentation for that, or the revised data for that. Should we choose to whom the electronic certificates will be sent, or can it be sent by other people? What do we do if we don't know all the end users of the document? Just to make clear again, this email which you supply to us at the beginning, that is the email address where all the electronic certificates are sent to. You will have to send as a lab these electronic certificates to your clients. That is for several reasons, because some clients receive it by email, some labs have a client portal, and we cannot have a solution in that case for all. The point is, please, you receive them, you can forward them, and you know whom to forward them, especially also in the cases when you may only know about who to forward them after you have filled them and signed them. So you will get the electronic PDFs, and you can forward them to your clients and to whomever you want to forward them, because you have the contract between you and your client and not ISTA in that case, and we cannot make legally responsible for that. Can the e-certificates be checked by the customer before it is signed? There the real answer is probably not. Maybe not the answer you expect, but probably not. Not if you don't allow them to enter your portal system where you fill the ISTA e-certificates on. Thanks for the webinar. It's useful. You are welcome. Will we have a mid-time meeting during the testing phase? That is probably depending on the answers we get, but it could well be, yes. For certificates, it's also for confidential aspects. I cannot, that's not a real question. Is it possible we issue EOIC only for some cases and some issue paper? Yes. The paper system is not obsolete. it will be in parallel, so you can decide where to issue an E and where to issue a paper certificate. For the trial period, can we generate e-certificates for samples that are going to be issuing physical certificates for? You can use that for any thing. In the trial area, in the trial period, you can use real data which you have, yes, because this certificate will not be shown on the system afterwards. So if you were to use the trial certificate as a real certificate, this would be a substantial non-conformity later on. That's just to mention. So if you generate a paper certificate and you use the same data to generate a trial e-certificate, that can be done, but only the paper certificate is valid. And of course, the trial certificate cannot be reached by the client for verification or by any authority. If there are no duplicates, it means that the EOIC originals can be distributed to multiple clients. You can distribute it to any client you like, but you should not, you yourself as a lab need to be sure that they can get it, but your client can distribute it to any customer and they can verify the data on the ISTA system, yes. But you will receive as a lab the OICs and you distribute it later to the persons of your customers. Is there a secure email connection provided? Maybe that has to be answered by Barbara.
No, not specifically. It's just a normal email that will be sent to via a normal email protocol. But if you look at the certificates on the system, it's a secured connection. It's HTTPS connection.
So if you would not like to receive that by email but download it directly, then you would have to print each single certificate for yourself and print it to file, right?
Or you could download it from the website once you enter the code.
Yeah. Or
Save
that,
as
yes.
PDF. That would be an alternative.
Yeah. If the client can't print the original, will be a risk that the print that he print many of them without duplicate status, or they can print out as much copies of that original as they like, but because the original is defined to be the one which is on the system. So what is printed out is an information copy of the original, more or less, and the original is on the system. And you could use this printout to verify that what you have in your hand is containing the correct data, and the original is the one which is on the system. There will be a mark on the printouts as well that they are printouts from the system. That's very important. This question came from an auditor, so that's and a lab head, so that's probably an important thing to mention here as well. The printouts will be marked as printouts from the system. If we can issue parallel, if we must request blank paper in two forms, electronic and physically, yes, you must request the blank paper and the electronic certificates in parallel. There will be for sure different costings with these two systems. Can we issue e-certificates and paper certificates simultaneously? Verena, correct me if I'm wrong. You can issue an e-certificate original and a paper duplicate, but not a paper original.
Yes, you cannot have two originals. If the electronic is the original, then a duplicate, if it's asked, you can issue. Yeah.
Yeah, but you cannot issue a original paper and then go and have another original e-certificate. That
No,
would
the
not
second
work.
will be original as well in the
Yeah.
electronic format, so you cannot. Yeah.
Yep. It will be an option to do a bulk download of PDFs. Yes, that's right, Barbara.
Yes, in the cockpit you can filter and select certificates. So we have a bulk download possibility.
Okay. How could the provisional certificates be issued? And I think you mean e-certificates. They are issued in the way that you save it and sign it as a provisional. You will see in the tutorial video there's a drop-down menu, and you have to use that when filling your e-certificate. There's a possibility of having it as a provisional ready to be signed and provisional to be signed, and then you can do that. Without the physical orange-blue templates, many will be printed in black and white. Do the PDFs indicate the orange-blue in some way or the other? Yes. The electronic certificates will have in front of their numbers the credentials either OIC or BIC. So there will be an OIC with a number and a BIC with a number, and the BIC and OIC are part of the certificate number in that case. We thought of that as well, but thank you for asking. What difference in price between the e-certificate and paper certificate? I cannot tell you that because that's a decision which has to be made by the ordinary general meeting. But if there's one thing I can tell you, we generate at ISTA a certain income from these certificates, and we do not want to generate more, but we would like to keep that income stable. And we had a number of questionnaires out over the last years, in total 3, and we found out that for every original certificate, 2.5 papers were used, either as duplicates, misprints, provisionals, but for each certificate which was issued as an original, there were 2.5 ISTA papers be used. Maybe that is an indication where the travel could go to. On the paper certificates, the upper box is the responsibility of the customer. If there is a mistake made by the customer, we now print a new original. Is that also possible if there's a mistake on the e-certificate? Florina?
Yes, the same rule applies. So we apply these rules, chapter 1, if it's an electronic certificate or a paper certificate. There are no differences.
Oh, that's another nice one for you, Florina. Now, if we have issued original paper certificate and it is lost, can we make an e-certificate to replace it?
So this is a combination that we didn't consider, but I will take it. So please, for this special question, send me an email and I can answer specifically. As for the non-accredited to use the platform, send me an email and I will also discuss more before giving an answer.
Okay.
Because there are hybrids.
Yeah. Now all the ifs and whens are coming. All information in the EOIC will be saved for audit procedures. That is something which we did not inform you yet on, but that is the possibility for us before the audit to get the information of the EOICs of the laboratory, and the auditors may have a look at the EOICs which you issued, which is saving time later on during the audit, because normally they would look through all your certificates or selected number of certificates during the audit. Now that can be done pre-audit with the eCertificate system. That is an information which may be valuable as well for you. So even if we can do this bulk download, we also get an email. Barbara, you only get an email. In that case, you have an email behind. If you don't have an email, you would have to go
Yes.
to download yourselves anyway.
Absolutely. But you can have both options. You can download it and you can have an email where the signed certificates will be sent to automatically.
Okay, normally if there's an email, it goes to that email. That's important.
Yes, as long as you provide an email address, the signed certificates will be sent to the email, but you still can have download options in the cockpit when you're logged in the ISTA cockpit e-certificates.
Yeah, but then on the sign you get it automatically.
Yes.
Yeah. If the person signing the e-certificate is different from the person filling out the information, can the signatory refuse the signature if there is an error? You will have an lab login credential, and this lab login credential will allow you to fill the e-certificates. Signing is different, and in the moment you're printing mostly not the person, or in a number of cases not the person signing is going on to that. Just a second. Oh, I need to go out here. Yeah. Not the person signing is always filling the certificates, but the person signing could be different. But it's here. If you give away your signature code, then you're signing, or someone else could use it. That is for sure, yes. Can an OIC with wrong data be marked as invalid? Barbara, do we have that in the moment? Can we take that out?
No, there's no such status as invalid.
We need to think about that. Thank you for the question.
I got also the question if a once signed original certificate could be deleted in any circumstances, and for the moment that is a clear no.
How long are the e-certificates saved on the platform? We in the moment say as long as necessary. It's a kind of forever. They may be archived at a certain stage, but we will see when that would be the case. But they will be still available. Yeah, thank you very much. That is all the questions. We will use, if you have any further questions, please send it to us, audit@ista.ch. We will use these questions which come now and which come in the afternoon session to prepare an FAQ, and you will be informed via the newsletter when that is available. Please apply for the trial period if you are an accredited lab, and we thank you for being patient with us here and asking all the important questions. Please be again patient with us. We may know much more than you ask on questions, so that is fine. Yes, thank you very much. And this webinar, as the afternoon webinar, will be available later also on the ISTA YouTube channel. If you need to have a look at the tutorial, please visit the ISTA YouTube channel. And maybe we can all get onto the screen again and say goodbye. And thank you for all that you said that it was an informative session. Thank you very much. And we, as presenters, will see again in the afternoon for the next session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.